Welcome to this class where we're going to have a bit of fun and play around with some movement that we don't typically see in traditional yoga asana. So just get ready to have some fun, and just so you know, we're not really going to spend any time warming up. So if you do feel like you need to warm up, go ahead and pause the video, just do a little bit of cat-cow type things. We're not really going to be on our hands too much. So if your wrists don't feel too warmed up at this point, that's probably going to be okay. Whenever you're ready, we'll begin standing up at the front of the mat. So go ahead and get everything nice and stable in your body with your feet pointing forwards, hip width distance, ground down through the corners of the feet and through the balls of the feet. Lift your inner arches up. Find a little bit of engagement through the legs. Draw your feet together slightly to get the inner thighs working. Give just like a 10% amount of activation through the glutes, and take a deep inhale down into your belly, filling your lungs up in all 360 degrees, and exhale out. The breath is all that you really need to properly activate the deep core muscles that keep your spine active and anticipate all of the movements that you're about to make. Draw your chin back so that you know that your ears are over your shoulders, and just have your arms down by your side, but go ahead and just externally rotate. That doesn't mean squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you so much and losing your natural spine, but just turning your palms to face forward slightly. So it's kind of like we're in Shavasana, but standing up. Shift your weight over into the left foot. Keep lifting up through the inner arches. Keep lifting your hip out of the left thigh, and draw your right knee up towards your chest. Now, the first thing that might happen is that your hips are gonna want to tilt backwards and your standing leg might want to bend. So try and keep the left knee straight, and even tilt your hips forward a little bit like you're going into a little bit of a back bend, but at the same time, keep pulling that right knee up towards your chest. So left knee working to be straight, tailbone working to point back towards the back wall, but the right knee working to drive up towards your chest. Draw your ribs down slightly, keep your chin back. You should really feel your left gluteus medius working now. If you don't know what the gluteus medius is, it's that thing that's working really hard. So keep all of this activation, keep this neutral spine. Start to bring the right knee down and extend the right leg back behind you, lowering your chest parallel to the floor. Just a little warrior three as a transition. Bend into the left knee. Lower the right foot to the back of the mat. Lower the right knee down. Shift your hips back over the right knee. Squeeze your glutes. Give me a little tuck of the tailbone now, so the opposite movement that we made before. And keep that activation through the glutes as you press your hips forward towards the left heel. Pull your right heel towards your butt. Hold it here for a breath. You can have your arms up or at your hips, whatever works for you. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower the right foot down behind you. Reach the arms up. Lift your right knee up off the mat. Keep those glutes active. Exhale, spin your right foot flat over towards the right side. Extend the left arm forward and the right hand back. Bend into the left knee so you're in a warrior two. Really lift up through the inner arch of the right foot. So this is gonna activate that right inner thigh. Make sure that the right glutes are active and you've still got that nice smooth breathing so that your deep core muscles are working. This is really gonna help you for the next move. We're gonna take a hop off of the left foot into the right foot, all the way to the back of the mat. Without using your hands, can you pull the left foot all the way up towards your hips, and maybe place your left foot on the inside of your right thigh into a tree pose without using your hands. While we're here, you can do whatever you want with your hands once again, but activate through the right hip. Really think about trying to lift your hips up out of the right thigh. Squeeze the glutes. Breathe fully down towards the belly. Exhale, lift up through the pelvic floor. All of this is going to help you balance and stay nice and active in this tree pose. Now, keep all of that activation. Peel your left foot off of your right inner thigh. Bring it so it's like a 90-degree angle out to the side of you. And internally rotate. So just keep your knee where it is and try and pick your left ankle up higher off the floor. So you're kind of in a dog weeing on a fire hydrant type pose. Lean forward with your chest. So back towards like a warrior 3 position, but keep that knee up out to the side. And now extend it straight back behind you, but keep the knee bent. Now externally rotate, so bring your foot to face towards the floor and the knee to point up. Bend into the right knee and slowly lower down. You may be off your mat, that's fine. What I'm hoping that you found yourself in is a little goddess pose. So feet pointing out wide, knees going in the same direction as your feet. Really use your glutes to drive the knees back behind you. Come up onto the tiptoes of the right foot. Inhale. Exhale, swivel around to rotate that right knee internally. And then externally rotate it. Swivel it back around, lower the right heel down. Same on the left, lift the left heel up, internally rotate. So lower the knee down, just swiveling around on the left toes. Externally rotate to bring that knee back up to where it started. Lower the knee down. Get a little bit of a hop going. We're going to bring our weight all the way back into that right leg. Pivot back around the way we started. So facing the side of the mat, bring the knees side by side with each other. Keep lifting up out of your hips. Keep all of that activation through the core so you're not just thinking and being floppy. Find that engagement. Lift up through the inner arches of the right foot. Bring the left knee over to the outside of the right. Bend into the right knee. Keep the left leg entirely off the floor as long as you can as you lower all the way down. Until you're on the floor. Adjust if you need to. If you need to, bring that leg out to the side. We're going to take a little twist here, but different to how you normally do it. I want you to cactus your arms. Imagine that you're trying to bring your hands back behind you and your elbows forward. Keep this position. Take an inhale. As you exhale, twist around. If you can make contact then, even pressing the right knee towards the left elbow, press the left elbow towards the right knee. So we're really working the inner thighs of the right leg and the external rotators of the left shoulder. Take a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling, but keeping all those muscles working, the knee and elbow really pressing into each other. On your next exhale, release. You could bring the hands down to help you, or maybe hands free, maybe just fingertips. Can you stand all the way back up? Step your left foot behind you off of the mat. Step the right foot forward so your right foot is also off the mat. Bring the arms out wide. Bring your right hand to your chest with your fingers kind of in line with your collarbones. Then straighten your right arm and bend your left. Bend your right arm, straighten your left. Straighten your right arm, bend your left. Okay, so we're going to keep moving through this. Maybe as you kind of go with a bit more fluidity, you feel that it's bringing your body into these twisting movements, and that's the momentum that we're going to use as we come up onto our tiptoes. And maybe you just play around with bringing that left leg up, and you want to just play around with this if you're on a surface, especially that you feel you can't spin around on. But this is not a traditional yoga thing. But if you want to play around, if it feels like it's going to be okay for your ankle and for your knee, up on the tiptoe, use the momentum to spin around and place the left foot back off the mat once again. So try that 2 more times. Spin around, lower down. Spin around and lower down. Good. Come to face the front of your mat. Keep the feet wide off of the mat itself. Lift up through the inner arches. Squeeze the thighs together. Reach the arms up. Inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Walk your hands to the front of the mat. Lower your hips down in line with your shoulders so that you're in a plank position. Now, you can do this on forearms if you prefer, or you can stay on your hands. Roll over onto the outside of the left foot and the inside of the right. Reach the right arm up. Can you shift your weight back into that left leg to pick your right leg up? Step your right leg back behind you. Lift the left leg up. Step the left leg back behind you. Lift the right leg up. Go just as far as it feels all right for you, and then walk your legs all the way back onto your mat. Keep pressing firmly out through that left shoulder. When you get back onto your mat, pivot round back onto your toes, lower the right hand back down. Press the hips up, open through the shoulders, press the chest back towards the thighs. So you find yourself in a downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, maybe hop or just step the left foot to the front of the mat. Lift the right leg up. Reach the top of the head down towards the floor and the right toes up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend both knees. Lower the right knee so it meets the left. Lower the right foot down. Rise all the way back up. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Give yourself a nice stretch. As you exhale, lower back down. Once again, find a nice strong standing position. Bring your feet to hip width distance if they're not already. Lift up through the inner arches. Slightly draw the feet together, so a little bit of activation, just like 10% activation through the inner thighs. Bring that same 10% activation through the glutes. Find a nice deep breath, breathing in all directions. Draw the chin back. Shift your weight now into the right leg. Draw your left knee up towards your chest. So same as before, if you find that your right knee wants to bend and your hips want to tilt backwards, bring yourself up out of that. Bring the chin back. Keep the right knee straight. Even into a little bit of a back bend through the hips to really activate that gluteus medius. Keep pulling the left knee up, but draw the ribs down so you're not actually back bending like this. It's just keeping the hips towards neutral instead of letting them tilt backwards. So the more you try and tilt the hips forward, but at the same time pulling that left knee towards your chest, you're really going to be feeling that right gluteus medius working. You can even reach back there and give it a little poke. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly bring the left leg back behind you. Lower your chest parallel to the floor. Keep the spine neutral. Keep the chin back. Bend into the right knee. Slowly, softly, with control, lower the left foot to the back of the mat. Lower the left knee down. Shift your hips back. Now we're going for a pelvis that is tilting backwards. Squeeze the left glute. Keep all of that activation as you press the hips forward towards the right heel. Pull your left heel towards your butt. So I know that the tendency, the urge is to reach back there and grab to see how deep you can go. But try and just do it for this class, for this time. Try and just do it with your own strength. Just using the strength of your left hamstring and glutes to pull that heel up towards your butt. On your next exhale, lower it back down. Straighten the left knee to lift the left knee up off the mat. Rise up into your crescent lunge. Take an inhale. On the exhale, spin the left foot flat. Open the hips and shoulders over towards the left. Extend the right arm forward, the left arm back. Really press down to the outside of the left foot. Lift up through the left inner arch. Make sure that that left glute, the left inner thigh is nice and active. Draw the ribs down. Breathe deeply. Down into the belly. Make sure that your chin isn't jutting forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, hop off of the right foot into the left. Pull yourself into a tree pose, just using your own strength. You can have your hands wherever you want. Make sure that wherever you are, though, you're not sinking into that left hip. You shouldn't be. That left gluteus medius should really be active now. So your left gluteus medius should be active, so no sinking is happening. Keep that activation through the abdominals and your chin back. Peel your right foot up off of your left inner thigh. Take the knee out to the side. Make sure there's a little bit of a 90-degree angle going on. And then internally rotate like that dog peeing on something to bring your ankle as high up as you can in line with the right knee. Then fold down through the left hip, coming into like a peeing dog variation of warrior 3. Bend into the left knee, pivot around, step the right foot all the way around so you're back in that goddess pose. Just check that the knees are driving back behind you. You should feel this in those glutes so that the knees are in line with the ankles. Lift the left heel off the floor. Swivel around on the left toes to lower the left knee down. So we're internally rotating in that left hip and then externally rotate it back to where you came. Lower the left heel down, lift the right heel up. Internally rotate to lower the right knee down. Spin it back to where you came. Lower the right heel back down. Shift over back onto the left foot. Draw the knees in line with each other. Find activation through the hips and the core. Bring the right knee to the outside of the left knee. Bend into the left knee. Try and keep the right leg off the floor as long as you can to slowly lower all the way down. Again, you can adjust if you need to. Just bring that leg to the front of the knee. Take the arms up. Take an inhale as you exhale. Bring your arms into a cactus kind of shape. Press your elbows forward and your hands back. Inhale. Exhale, twist around to the left. Bring your left knee towards your right elbow and your right elbow towards the left knee. Press them into each other. So the shape that we're going for is to not hook on the outside to help us twist around deeper, but rather use the inner thigh of the left leg and the external rotators of the right arm pressing into each other. So it's not a deep twist, but we're going to be really working some typically weak muscles. One more inhale. As you exhale, release that. Use your hands if you need to, or hands free. Step back into that left leg. Straighten back up. Step the right foot off the mat. Step the left foot off the mat and spin around to the left. I'm going to face this way, so I'm not facing the back too much. But the left leg is forward this time. Your right leg is back. This time, we'll bring the left arm bent and the right arm straight. Give it a few times, just straightening the left and bending the right, then straightening the right, bending the left. Move through this. Notice how this movement helps you twist. Come up onto your tiptoes if you feel like it's okay. The surface that you're spinning on isn't going to torque your knee too much. Maybe go for a little pirouette. So we'll do 2 more. Use the momentum of your arms. Make sure you're on your tiptoes. Step into the left foot. The right knee will come up so you can spin around. Try and land in the same way that you started. One more time. Spin around and back. So now spin around towards the right. So your legs are still off the mat. Lower your hands down. Walk them forward until your hips are in line with your shoulders. Again, if you would prefer to do this on your forearms, you can. It's probably easier on your hands though. Roll over onto the outside of your right foot, the inside of your left. Reach the left arm up. Can you shift your weight back onto the right leg and pick your left leg up? Then step your left leg back behind you, pick your right leg up. Step your right leg behind you, pick your left leg up. So just walking around, keep pressing out through that right shoulder, and then walk all the way back until you're properly on your mat again, where your legs tend to go in a side plank. Lower your left hand down as you come back onto the toes. Press your hips up. Open the shoulders, press your chest back towards your thighs. Look back towards your feet. Make sure that they are about hip width distance and your inner arches are still lifting up. Sometimes we collapse through the inner arches to try and get the heels down. But if that means your heels lift up so that your inner arches are not collapsed, then go for that instead. One more breath. Then lift your right leg up in whatever way that you want. Look forward. We're going to bring the right foot to the front of the mat. Try and keep the left leg up. As you lower your head down towards the floor, lift your left leg towards the ceiling in a standing split. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bring the left knee in line with the right. Bend both knees, lower the left foot down, rise up. Stand up nice and tall. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower the hands, lower the hips, bend the knees, lower your hips all the way down to the mat. Roll all the way down on to your back and extend your legs straight out. Again, about hip width distance. Have your hands down by your sides with the palms flat down on the mat. Now, squeeze your glutes. Give me a little bit of a posterior tilt, so tilting the tailbone as if you're trying to tilt it up towards the ceiling and tilt the top of your hips down towards the mat. Try and flatten out your lower back onto the mat. With this, drive down through the heels. Draw your heels back towards your hips as if you're trying to crumple up your yoga mat underneath you. Then maybe you do, so just get it back to where it was. You can do that again with me, or option, lift your hips up as you go. So again, find that posterior tilt, try and flatten your low back on to the mat as much as possible. Drive down through the heels. So you can keep the hips down or lift the hips up as you pull your heels back towards you. Oh, you should be feeling that in your hamstrings. Lower the hips back down. One more time. You'll probably feel this in your hamstrings tomorrow. Find that posterior tilt. Press your low back down to the mat. Squeeze your glutes. Drive down through the heels. Get all of that activation even before you go. And then pull your heels back towards your hands. And relax back down. Phew. Undo your yoga mat if it's all crumpled up. Lift your legs up over your hips. You can stay here, or if you want to take a little shoulder stand, you can extend the feet back over your head, lift the hips up off the mat, and when you can balance on your hands, start to straighten out, just coming into any variation of a shoulder stand or just legs up that works for you. When you're ready, slowly roll back down and roll onto your back with your thighs resting on your chest. Your knees can be bent or straight, whatever feels good for you. You can have your arms down by your side and just let gravity do the work to pull your legs down, or you can help with your hands a little bit, but remember, it's not about the shape, it's just helping to kind of stretch out the whole back body, and in particular those hamstrings after those hamstring curl up things. When you're ready, slowly lower the feet back down, take a few twists while you're lying here on your back. Maybe do a little happy baby. Whatever you like to do to finish your practice. If you do feel like taking a little rest pose at this point, or maybe you want to move on to another yoga class, but if you're ready to just chill out for a few minutes, bring your feet to the corners of your mat and your palms facing up with the hands resting down by your side. Close your eyes and just take a few moments to bring your breath into a smooth, rhythmic pattern that hopefully it's been in more or less throughout this class. But if not, it doesn't matter. Now is the time to just take a few moments to focus on your breath. And stay there for as long as you need to, as long as it feels good for you. Whenever you're ready, though, find a sense of gratitude. Let that gratitude fill you up. Gratitude for your body, gratitude for yourself, gratitude for the practice, whatever it is. Let it fill you up and take you into the rest of your day. Put a big smile on your face and know that whatever life throws at you, you've always got the breath and this practice of breathing mindfully to come back to. Thank you again for joining me. Namaste.